Hello ladies and gentlemen and welcome to the UK League Championship for the finals day. My name is Jake Hitbrain Matthews and I'm joined by Kiernan Nick Scoundrel Low. Oh boy, it's come all down to this, Fnatic Rising versus Diabolus.
Yeah, I think a lot of the season has been building towards this matchup. Most people seeing that these two are the teams that took ahead in terms of the regular season. Diabolus have looked pretty much unstoppable throughout the regular season as well. Fnatic have suddenly hit form, come back to that form that we expect of the LEC sister team. And things are looking pretty spicy for this best of 5.
Things are looking very dicey as well. But if you guys want to get in touch with us, you can head over to our Twitter at LVPUK. Use that hashtag UKLC to get in touch with us. We've got various things going on with Twitter today.
We do. If you have a sound that you would like to be played during Baron Nashor spawned, please send us that sound on Twitter with the hashtag UKLC and also at LVPUK. And we may include it in the show when Baron spawns in one of the games. I
believe we do have a sample sound, but I'm not 100% certain on that. No, that would have been the moment when it would have played, so I'm assuming we don't have a sample sound. Can head over to our YouTube channel, though, if you want to hear that sound, because we did play it yesterday in yesterday's shows, LVP UK over on YouTube, sorry. Catch up on all of our previous VODs and videos, but don't do that until after today.
Yeah, and also make sure you go and check out forgeofchampions.com because the Forge of Champions is returning and we have sign-ups that are open. So you can go and check out forgeofchampions.com and you can go and sign up there and find out all the information about the upcoming Forge of Champions tournament, which I believe is starting in May. So you can get involved with essentially the off-season championship that we're holding here at the LVP UK.
All right, well, let's have a little look at that Baron sound you guys can vote for. As this is it, right here. This is Donald Duck, wasn't it?
So yeah, that's the Baron. That's the type of thing that you can vote for on Twitter at LVPUK, hashtag UKLC. Send us a sound that you think would be funny. We kind of want funny/meme sounds for the spawning of Baron Nashor, and it may get included in the show. You guys at home have that opportunity to have your influence on the broadcast.
But to go a little bit further into our final game of the day, our final game of the, not the day, of the
season,
of
mate.
the season. I mean, it is technically about that. We're going to pass over to Orcs, who's going to break down all of our action a little bit more.
Hi guys, so I'm here to break down the rosters. Obviously, most of you have seen them before between Diabolus and Fnatic, our top 2 teams in the UKLC, but I'll be delving a bit into what we expect from the players. We've obviously seen them playing throughout the tournament, so shouldn't be too big of a surprise, but I'll be able to run down and just give you a little brief intro as to what we should really expect from them. So first up, I'm going to talk a little bit about Fnatic. Fnatic have been a really solid team. They've had some ups and some downs, but obviously you'd expect that. The same thing happened with the LEC main team. And I've got to say that they've really bounced back. Dan's really impressed me in the jungle. He's had a solid performance on playing a lot more aggressively. Because we kind of criticised him a bit, saying he was a farming jungler, but definitely more aggressive throughout. And this is a full roster. Shikari in the top lane, Dan in the jungle, Magi Felix mid, X-Mite AD carry, and running with Targmas support, who is a new sub support. So pretty solid roster all around. I think a lot of people said it was the most stacked roster coming into the UK, but they've had some performances which weren't so swell, but coming into playoffs, they look absolutely on form. So their competition is obviously Diabolus, who they've also put up a solid performance. A lot of people didn't expect them to challenge the LEC sister teams, XL and Fnatic, but they managed to secure first seed coming into playoffs, which also gave them a spot for the play-ins in EU Masters. So there's Kerberos top, Monkeys in the jungle, Krogs in mid, Yusa AD carry and had a spot. And I think for me, the matchup to watch is really the jungle matchup. Monkeys and Dan have both had such stellar performances throughout, so I think it's going to come down to who can perform better. The rest of the roster of Diabolus has been performing pretty solidly. Everyone has shown on that team that they can carry. It just comes down to who brings the big performance and who can make the big plays. So that's a bit of a brief rundown of the two teams. I think we've seen some crazy things throughout the split. We've seen some wild action. But yeah, hopefully we'll get to see more today.
wearing my headset, it all fell apart. He's still dancing though. We should
I
probably
can't see
dance.
anything. I don't know why I decided to combine the two of these.
You went duck and crab.
Okay, how close to the camera am I?
You're pretty close.
Okay.
Keep going.
Yeah.
All right, about there. Now drop a little bit. There we go. Now dance.
Okay, all right.
Back to dance. Oh. What?
It's actually horrific in
Yeah, I don't know why you did that. What are we doing?
I don't know. Dan's being forced to dance. Unfortunately, I can't actually hear the music in my earset.
No,
so
I can't either. So it's actually quite hard to dance when you can't.
Yeah,
hear
that was unfortunate.
That was all I could hear was us.
Oh, why am I over here? We've got to send Dan over here.
Yeah, we actually do need Dan over here.
Come on, over this way.
Well, I'm going in this spot, am I today?
So I'm not actually going to be casting this series. I'm going to be handing it over to Dan and Jake. I'm just letting Dan take on his crab costume. Unfortunately, I couldn't actually hear the crab music, and I was really looking forward to that because that's one of my favourite songs. Crab Rave is actually just one of my favourite songs,
mate. I love it.
I was really looking forward to dancing to it, but I can't hear it. So unfortunately, so, you know, just think.
We just put a duck helmet on.
I did have a duck helmet on, but I do actually quite like wearing it. But it does get a bit stuffy in there.
It's that's why I didn't put the horse one on.
Well, I didn't know if you could get the horse one on with the crab hat. You see, that was kind of thing. And I didn't really see how effective it was. I have to ask Dan how much of the music he heard and how kind of into it he got when he gets onto the.
Not a lot, apparently.
Dan's saying he actually didn't hear a lot of the music, so he's probably just sitting there going, I don't know what I'm dancing to.
It's quite hard to dance when you don't have music.
No.
It's
As you can see, UK players hate us, but everybody else, we're going to be jumping into the series. Obviously, it's really, really important one. I know we have a bit of fun here at the UKLC, and I know it probably doesn't make much sense to you guys at home, but this is a really important series now. There's a big amount on the line. Both of these teams have automatically qualified for the EU Masters, but they were playing for the group stage play-in spot, which is obviously the sort of the easiest spot to get in terms of going further in the competition. And they'll also be playing for the champion of the UKLC. I'm going to hand over to Dan now. Literally just going to do it on camera because why not?
Yeah.
Mom says it's my turn to cast.
All right, I'm pretty excited to get into this. Obviously, we had a little bit of a weird start to the show, like yesterday, like every day.
Yep, no kidding.
But it is now time for the grand finals here at the UK League Championship.
This is throwing me off because I'm on this side. And
Yeah, I know. I've actually never stood on that.
Do you want to swap?
Yeah, let's swap. This is weird. Don't stand on my cable though.
Okay.
Like a scaffolded.
Do we use them?
Well, no.
Not yet.
No,
Well,
maybe later.
okay.
All right, I'm hoping we're getting to pick some bands fairly soon. Then we can.
Yeah, I mean, the players have been waiting. Apparently, they've been waking up at 9 a.m. to be ready for this. So, I mean, I
Man,
get.
waking up at 9 a.m. What a
Wow,
hard life, right?
How unlucky. It's not like, I have to wake up at 5 a.m. to get here. But it's all for the UKC, and so we love to do it. That's what we're passionate about.
Yeah. There's actually a microphone there. An inflatable microphone that you can't actually see it.
Do we bring it in?
Well, yeah, you might as well now.
Yeah, okay.
There we go. So actually, what's really going on? Yeah, sorry. So what's really going on is these don't work. These aren't real. We just use them for the looks. We have a bunch of these just hanging around the ceilings and just picking up all of the noise of the room. And
Very
that's,
legitimate.
Yeah, that's why. So I'm just gonna throw that over there. There we go. Into picks and bans for our first game. Fnatic Rising will be starting up on that blue side, Diabolus on the red side.
And
I'm assuming Diabolus got priority on side selection for game 1, 3, and 5.
Because that's seed 1, so 1, 3, and 5, they get side selection. They chose red side to suit their devilish color. And very quickly, they're targeting the champion pool of Kerberos. We saw Yorick available to him all 3 games, and unsurprisingly, he picked it all 3 games. Fnatic don't let him even get it for 1. So quick bans to come in, and Diabolus, they're answering kind. Zoe's fairly standard. We've seen that ban across the board, but all of that is definitely directed at the jungler, because Dan has shown a massive preference to play on that. Although he's shown he will play the Rek'Sai and had a pretty solid performance on that yesterday.
All right, so let's see what Fnatic decide to ban away as their third and final ban in this first phase. Going to take that Orianna, deny that from Krogson. Again, that was banned away from him pretty much every game yesterday. Didn't want to see him get his hands on that.
Yeah, Diabolus. I mean, I'm expecting the Silas to come out here. It's still so strong. Yeah, it does come through. So that now leaves Fnatic in a position where they could first pick the Jarvan. They've been known to do that regularly. The Braum is also a good option. They did that yesterday. There are things like the Lucian open, but it all comes down to what they want to play and what they think is going to give them the best chance, because we've seen that Fnatic like to vary things quite a bit, but they are going with what they did yesterday. The Braum first pick comes out. So now over to Diabolus, they have the choice of picking up something like the Galio Jarvan, although I don't think you take both here, or they could take the Lucian to deny that Lucian Braum lane. So it comes down to, do they think they can play that matchup effectively. Cave's always going to do his little charm with the hovers, but
yeah, I mean, you're never going to see Master Yi. As much as I'd love to see Kerberos's Master Yi, we're not going to see it. So it looks like they're going to go into probably an AD support here, as they take away the Vayne, so they get themselves a nice comfortable pick. But that Jarvan, like you said, is open as well, so they could probably go for support third pick, or maybe try and get themselves a nice mid lane pick, depending on what Magic Felix picks up.
They've definitely grabbed a ton of scaling already with that Vayne, and then the Jarvan. It's a great flex for them, but it's expected the answering kind. Dan, when he's off his Olaf, he goes for that Rek'Sai, the Lucian comes in, so we have that Lucian Braum lane for Might and Targamas. And now Diabolus in a position where they can pick a support to give Vayne a bit of better time before they get banned away. Or you can go for something like a top lane or a mid laner and then ban away counters. I think top lane would kind of give away a lot of your draft because then you know the Jarvan's going in the jungle, but you might be okay with that because you know what you're going up against. So we'll just have to wait and see what they decide. They go for the Lissandra. That makes a lot of sense to me. That makes a lot of sense. It's fairly strong. Krogson's been good in it. It helps with the team fighting, and also it means that you can start really hammering away a Magic Felix pool. The big one's a Corki.
Yeah, that was the one I was expecting to see banned away. What's next, though?
Even without Magic Felix, it's a good matchup into Lissandra. Next, I mean, into Lissandra in particular, you could focus away. I mean, to be honest, it's more what Magic Felix is willing to play, because I think Corki is his go-to against the Lissandra. And that limits his pool quite a bit. Galio makes sense, because you can have that Jarvan Galio combo. They could go for something like the Rise, or they could go for something that does well in that 1v1 matchup. You know, Cassiopeia is pretty effective against the Lissandra. It comes down to what do they think Magic Felix will play, because as one of our players, he's probably shown the least in terms of champion pool. He's been very rigid. It's like he's played Lissandra, Corki, or Victor.
Yeah.
And it's pretty much been sticking to those. There have been occasions where he's done more, but they're actually going to target Shikari's Kennen, so he's been picking this so often when it's been available, and his team fighting's been excellent on it. We'll see what Fnatic go with the next one. Alistair would probably be a pretty common one, or they could go for something that's directed more at the top lane or the jungle if they think they have an idea where the Jarvan's going. Go for that Kale, so not wanting to give that over to Kerberos, a bit cautious the scaling of it.
I think when you've got a Vayne already with Lissandra, if you just add more scaling to the mix, it can be really hairy. So I understand why they ban that way. What is interesting is both of these teams have been opting away from that Taric Sona that we did see at the beginning of
I think you have to be very confident to opt into that. And how they're going to take the Rakan, so is feeling slightly better after the couple of buffs in the recent patches, but to me, that's a risky lane into the Braum Lucian, because you can never go in as the Rakan. You can never go in because you'll get stunned up and die. So Hado and Yusa have to play that lane completely scale. Go over this Fnatic Rise. I would not be surprised at all to see the Rise here. I thought maybe Diabolus were going to ban it away. Yeah. I think it's a good matchup, and it gives you that 1-3-1 potential later on. And you're a bit too bulky with the items you pick up to really be killed by the Lissandra, so you're just happy to scale up. Now with the Shikari, blind, so it could be into the job and it could be into something else. I think you just take something that's pretty stable. He's shown that he's happy to take things like the Renekton, and with Kennen off the table, maybe he'd be more willing to blind that. It comes down to what you think is going to provide for the team. Cho'Gath is a big one that's open that Kerberos might play if Shikari takes something not too committal, and he actually goes for the Ornn, so I expect to see Kerberos answer this with the Cho'Gath. I think you have enough damage in your team composition already, and that he's shown that's what he likes to play, but this gives a bit of scaling back towards Fnatic, because when you get those late game items, they really can make a big difference.
I have to see what Diabolus decide to lock in here for Kerberos. They could always send that Jarvan top lane and pick a different jungler as well if they want, but I think you might be right. Looks like the Cho'Gath is going to be on the menu here for Kerberos, and rounding out the picks, we've got two front lines for both Fnatic and Diabolus, which is nice. They've got beefy tanks who are going to stand at the front. You've got, you know, Xmadi and Yusa who have similar range on their carries. Both want to kind of get quite close into the fight and be navigating those fights with the movement they've got in their kit. I'm going to be pretty excited to see how this game goes.
Yeah, I've got to say, to me, the early pressure is on the side of Fnatic. Braum Lucian's such a strong lane. Rise, you can use the Realm Orb to impact the map more, and the Rek'Sai as well can just make some really dominant ganks. The issue comes is when they get later on. If you look at the composition of Diabolus, you're really going to struggle to deal with that Vayne, and then on top of that, the Cho'Gath, there's no real answer to him. Rise and Lucian aren't good at killing tanks.
Yeah. And
so late game, I feel like Diabolus' front line is just going to be too strong. The Vayne's going to pump out too much damage. So I think Fnatic, they've drafted in a situation where they want to get ahead early and make things happen. They've got the tools to. They just have to make sure they capitalize.
And one of the things, but one of my criticisms about Fnatic Rising was that Dan, played more to the jungle just to farm, a little bit of counter jungling here and there, and tried to deny that way. But he wasn't really impacting the map outside of neutral objectives. Yeah. Wasn't actually ganking his lanes. Arguably, you could argue the fact that he was playing Karthus for the first 3 weeks, which pretty much that's how you play Karthus.
But it felt like he was even doing that on Olaf.
But he was doing that on Olaf. But as the tournament has gone on, he's got more impactful. And yesterday was when we saw what everyone would have been telling us about what Dan had actually been like as a player. Yeah. He was very proactive. He was constantly putting pressure onto the map. He was always in the lanes. And it set Fnatic up for success. And it was on that Rex Ivy as well.
Absolutely, but he needs to make that happen again because they've put themselves in a situation, and this is fine. It's fine to say this is our win condition, but I think if you get to like the 25, 30-minute mark and they haven't got to a position where they're way ahead in the game, I'm really going to start worrying for Fnatic because I just don't think they've been giving themselves the tools to punish Matty on this vein and to even deal with that massive tanky Cho'Gath. And Monk has shown he will vary his builds quite a bit, but if you go the tanky Jarvan and the tanky Cho'Gath, it's going to take you so long to cut through them. By that time, you've just lost a team fight.
Well, I want to ask a prediction coming into this series. Actually, before we head in, how do you think this whole series is going to go? Fnatic, Diabolus, I want how many games you think it's going to take?
I think it's going to be 3-2 to Fnatic, and I think Diabolus is going to win game 1.
Oh, okay.
That is my prediction. So,
is that just off the draft for game 1, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think Fnatic have shown that they can sometimes be a bit slow to get going, and I think if they don't come out full speed against Diabolus, they will lose this game out. I think that's probably what's going to happen game 1, but I think they'll hit their form. They'll get 2 wins in a row, and then although Diabolus will bring one back to equalize, I think Fnatic will come out because they look really strong.
That's a really, you've actually predicted the whole series.
I'm going really into it. If I'm wrong, then at least I tried.
At least you tried. I'm predicting we see Kale at least once if we go all the way to 5.
We already saw it in the bans. But
yeah, we've seen it in the bans, but I mean in the actual game, yeah.
Well, Shikari's been showing he's willing to play it.
Kerb's willing to play it, we know that as well.
Yeah,
although Shikari definitely had a better game than Kerberos did.
Yeah, but even then it felt like it's one of those things where you feel like when you get to late game, you should just be able to take over with this champion, but sometimes if you're threatened, it can be difficult because Shikari lost his game where he was on the Kale and got pretty fed. And I think it just comes down to filling the team. And even the one win we've seen in the UK so far for Kale, which was for M&M, it wasn't really Mummus who was doing the carrying. It was more him ulting the Cogmore.
And you could also argue that Mummus was also stopping 2 split pushes at the same time.
Yeah, like he definitely did his job, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But I think people have looked at this Kale and gone, you hit level 16 and you just mow everything down in front of you. And I think because of her range, it's sometimes a bit trickier.
Well, it looks like we're heading on to Summoner's Rift for our first game of the UKLC finals. Diabolus will be starting up on that red side with Fnatic Rising on the blue. I'm pumped to get into this.
Absolutely, so am I. And here's Diabolus, as we said, side choice for game 1. So they went into this wanting the red side. We'll have to see if it pays off for them. I predicted that yes, it will in game 1, but we'll have to see.
Youth has opted in to the Doran Shield. Pretty standard start on a Vayne, where Xmaddy knows that this is an aggressive lane, knows that he wants to be trading, so he's taking himself the Doran Shield sword. Out of that, starting items, not really too much to talk about on that front.
Interesting to see that Magifelix has gone for the Aftershock. So there's been a bit of variation recently with the Rise as to whether they go Aftershock or Phase Rush. It does mean that he'll be a bit beefier when he does proc that, harder to take down. So again, I think it benefits him more in the mid game. I think Phase Rush scales better because at the late stages, it makes it just so easy to move around team fights. But I think in the mid game, you want those extra resists or in the early levels. So, it just doesn't mean that Fnatic, they know their win condition and they know what they're playing for. Again, if they get it 25, 30 minutes and they haven't found their success in this game, I'm going to be a bit concerned.
Well, mirrored start here. Monkers and Dan both on that bot side of the map. Scrogson looking just to force Magifelix out of lane, but actually was unsuccessful in landing 2 Qs in a row.
A lot of back and forth. I feel like players are just going to be testing the water in this game. They will go for some aggressive trade and see what happens. You see Crogson giving it back to Magifelix there.
Well, you guys on your screen can see right now, the poll has started. Hashtag FNC or hashtag DBL. Let us know who you think is going to win this game in that Twitch chat.
Looking very Fnatic favored right now. But Diabolus fighting back. You know, gotta give him some respect.
Well, Fnatic got that early level 2 in the bot lane, pushing up Yusa and Hado. This is exactly what you said with the Rakan. He has to play fairly safe.
Yeah, I mean, there's certain lanes with the Rakan that you just really can't go in on unless you have backup. You can't W in unless you have your jungler there to follow up, because you'll just get stunned up and die so quickly. The Braum applies the passive, the Lucian can proc it very quickly, and sure, Rakan has a way to get out, but he is very squishy for one of these engaged supports, so I think you just play on the side of safety. And essentially, Yusa and Hado are playing this for a scaling lane. That's a big reason why Yusa has that TP, so if he does get chunked out, he doesn't lose a bunch of CS. And I mean, it is going to scale. Vayne, Rakan, I think as far as lanes go that scale, pretty solid.
Well, Kerb already being pushed in there as well. It's equal in CS though, so he's fine for the moment.
Jungler's been fairly slow so far. Just both going for a full clear, each taking a scuttle. Not made anything happen yet, but after this first jungle clear, that's where I'm looking to see what happens. And ping actually comes out from Dan, so I think he's misread where Monkiz is. He thinks that he's either at his Raptors or his Raptors are still up. Warning pings come out, so he has been spotted. He's looking for Monkiz.
He's got that tunnel. Monkiz not going to get his base cancelled because Dan can't see him.
Yeah, crucially, the Tremor Sense doesn't help if they're standing still. So it looked a bit funny to us, but Dan did not have that information. But he knows that the camps have been cleared. He has to expect where he is roughly. And now, Target Master Matty will go and place some vision control down because they expect the next place Monkiz will be farming is on that bot side as he just finished off the top side of his jungle. Question mark pings come out. They're wondering where he is.
Well, there are no camps up at the moment on that top bot side to track when those do start to come up.
Crucially, Magic Felix has also not taken the cleanse in this lane. It does mean he'll be more of a split push threat later, but once Krogson hits at level 6, there's definitely a very real gank threat onto this Ryze, so you have to be cautious playing around that.
Well, looks like the vote's wrapping up. Almost 60% of you believe Fnatic are going to take this game, but Monkiz might have something to say about that. It's getting spotted out on these wards that were placed down by X-Manny and Targamas.
Yeah, good move to use the enemy sweeper, so it does clear actually both of those out. They know where he is, but the wards are now gone, so where he moves from there will be pretty free. Been quite a slow game so far, and I think both teams are just testing the water. I do think that Fnatic need to get the tempo going a bit more to sort of meet their mid-game win condition. Because if they do get to the late game, they're kind of relying on Magifelix split push to win. And the thing is, Krogson has TP as well. And unless Magifelix gets super far ahead, it's quite difficult to ensure you find that. And Dan is looking for a gank here because the wave's pushing in. They know Monkiz is around mid. He's clearing this camp on a ward. And actually, I think Dan's coming over to try and stop this, but...
Oh yeah, spotted him. Tremor Sense is there, gets the knock up, but Krogson, level 6 being hit. The claws coming through, and Dan forced to flash away to safety. Targamas might just look to try and rotate here, but Hado hot on his back.
I think it was just overzealous from Dan. He goes in a level down. His mid laner had just recalled, so he calls from the TP back in, but he was there too late. Dan loses his flash, and that may not seem huge, but on a Rex side, that's a big part of your ganking pressure, is that flash knockup, and without that, definitely a win for Diabolus to negate that pressure somewhat.
I mean, speaking of negating pressure, Yusa, you know, he's comfortable. He's equal in CS to X-Maddie. And this is into a very potent lane. The Braum Lucian, just so much strong synergy between the pair of these champions.
But I just got to respect the way Hado's been playing it, is that you basically have to play like you don't have your W to go in, and it means that you're not going to get locked up and taken out. And they know if they just pick up the farm, if they just minimize the damage they take, use the Rakan's built-in sustain, they're going to be fine. And first Dragon picked up, it's a mountain for Diabolus, and that's a pretty big one to get, because a Vayne and a Cho'Gath makes your objective control very good. 2-item Vayne can take down any neutral objectives fast, and the Cho'Gath Feast obviously makes it very difficult to look for a steal, so a good one to take by all means in these early levels.
Easier, secure. But for now, 7 minutes on the clock. Gold is dead even between Fnatic and Diabolus. Although Fnatic pulled themselves a 300 gold lead ahead.
Mine's actually on no mana, so they're actually going to look for something here.
Jump in, but Dan's also coming in. The concussive blows. Not enough to actually get the stun off.
No
They
flash
chase it.
from Dan.
Maddie gets the flash up. Haddo's forced to flash away. The Ignite goes down. Winter's Bite procs, and Fnatic.
Picture that exact same play, but Dan had his flash. Haddo would have died.
Yeah.
100%. And that's what I'm talking about. Without that flash, there's so much less pressure from the Rek'Sai. Houston had to go aggressive when they thought they could. And to be honest, they didn't really get punished for it. Yes, Haddo lost his summoners, but it's Rakan. He's pretty safe anyway. And in return, they got both the Maddie summoners and the Ignite from that Braum. So definitely a win out from them. And now they're going to look towards Shikari in the top lane. And I don't think he's going to survive this 3-man gang.
He has ulti, but it's not going to do much. He gets flagged and dragged onto, and Kerberos feasts him for first blood.
And that is the issue. You make a play on the bot side of the map, and then it's go time for Diabolus. They know they're not going to get counter-ganked if they go top. It's very easy to pull off. And as a result, they get a kill off the back of Dan's presence being bot lane.
This wave is going to push in, crash into the Fnatic bot lane. Next Maddie will lose a few of these minions, if not all of them actually. It's quite a way away. Dan will spot Monkeys out now. Got that level 6 as he tunnels over. Teleports are coming in. They've got the slowdown. The knock-up lands. Targamas coming in. That's going to be the call of the Forge God. Into the zone as Dan takes him out. Curb forced to run away.
Yeah, good move from Targamas, and this is what I was talking about the other day. Support should always walk through mid before they go towards bot lane. They don't need to be there straight away. It means you can assist. He's looking for it again, but Croxon does just back out. But that's the difference. Having the Braum there as well made it from a 2v2 to a 3v2, and there was just no way Monkeys was going to survive that or be able to turn it around. And very quickly, Fnatic start to equalize this game, only 300 gold down.
Killer piece. Curb's got that first kill, but it's onto the tank. You could argue Dan getting the kill is pretty big. He's opted into that Hail of Blades as well. We had a bit of a talk about this yesterday, whether or not we thought that Hail of Blades or Conqueror.
A lot of it seems personal preference, but I have seen a lot of people go Conqueror even after the nerf, so a lot of people are saying it's dead. It's Press the Attack or Hail of Blades, but Press the Attack I am not seeing very much from Rek'Sai, and it's pretty much torn between Hail of Blades and Conqueror. Dan is always gone Hail of Blades.
Well, I asked you for your prediction for this game. I do believe Dog Champs also made her prediction for the game. Diabolus. That's a cute dog.
Dog Champ agrees with me, so gotta respect it. But Fnatic definitely still in this game, even though the predictions are going against them. They wanted to play that underdog style of play.
Looks like Croxon should be able to get a free play here. Yes, he does. Magic Felix goes in for a trade onto him. Does a lot of damage.
That's the thing with the Lissandra vs Ryze matchup. Lissandra's ult makes it very favored here, but she has to use it. If you're trading without the ult, Ryze actually has a lot of damage, that shielding comes in pretty big, and having already picked up the Merc treads, there's a limited amount you can do. Okay, Ross taking a lot of damage there, but he might actually be able to turn that around.
So still have that feast. The claw comes out, not going to follow it up.
I think maybe lacking the vision control. I think the key thing is look at the bot lane of Lucian and Braum. They were walking up to the river, so didn't want to look for it.
Oh, Monkeys jumps in. I didn't see you picked up the Rift, but Dan looking to get himself the kill. As Zhonya's gets used. The knock-up only lands onto one, but Magic Felix is doing the damage. Dan launches in and gets himself a double kill. Curb's going to be able to feast him for the kill, but the Realm Warper's coming through, and Magic Felix is chasing up for this kill. Flash is available, yeah. And Haddo is chasing, but they step away. Fnatic go 2 for 1.
Crucially, it was Fnatic who got that Rift Herald there. Dan picked up as he leaped towards Monkeys on the back end. So they come out pretty favorably, and it should be a good move to get that Rift Herald down. And this is what they need to sort of get back into this game, because they're still doing great now, but they need to get the momentum going for this mid-game to win out. And crucially, Dan having a great game again, 3-1-0. Did fall there, gave the shutdown over to... See a bit of an engage coming up. Haddo has to be careful here, actually.
Yeah, the Ignite is down. Targamas looking to go into User. Great Condemn to bail him out, but the Winter's Bite stuns him up. They do not have that Glacial Fissure quite yet, and Magic Felix unable to chase.
That's one of the things. Going in on the Rakan, there's very little you can do against this lane. And now the Rift Herald's going to get thrown down. There's going to be a lot of plating going over towards Fnatic.
Wonder if the bonus resistances fall off in time. Yes, they do.
That was a lot.
That was a lot of gold. And I think X-Matty got all of that solo gold as well. It just propels him even further forward. First turret blood goes in favor of Fnatic.
And that's what you need to see. They'll now be able to recall. I think they'll probably make... I mean, it's up to them. They might head towards mid lane and pressure that because it means they still have control over the dragon area if they want to contest that objective. Or they could just head straight top, sacrifice the Cloud Dragon, and focus on getting more towers and snowball in the game. I think the decision's been made. They're going to go top lane. They're looking for more towers, but that does mean they'll give it the Cloud to Diabolus. It's not that big of a deal, but it does definitely mean that if you get to the late game when the Elder Dragon's being thrown up for contention, Diabolus will be getting a big reward from that.
X-Matty's got himself his phage, so he's building towards that cleaver. That's his next item.
Which I think is a very good call, considering you have to deal with this Cho'Gath, who is already seeming very tanky.
Hado and Targamas. I just having a 1v1. We'll get stunned up. It's just free trade. Doesn't seem worth it anymore, does it?
I mean, he got the pink, so he does force a pink, which is a small victory. But now they have to be very careful, because the gang could come in, and Hado's ult isn't available yet, but Monk is heading straight over, so it should be okay.
Use the culling just for a bit of poke and shove. But like I said, Monkus is there, Cataclysm available. Monk is even clearing out all of these wards.
There's a collapse actually coming in, but Croxon might be in a bit of an unfortunate position. He does back off, though. Seems like Diabolus' bot lane will be safe here. And again, they're just trying to negate the pressure from Fnatic. They're looking to get to the late stages of the game. Because right now, there's a massive item advantage over the Matty. And the Rek'Sai is so strong with the completed warrior and the Merc Treads. Very threatened. Hado needs to be careful. He's going in now,
though.
With
the chance, gets a grand entrance onto 2. Monkus goes in, the Glacial Fish is there. X-Matty does find himself the kill. Silverbolt's not going to do enough to get the kill onto X-Matty. Diabolus just have to walk away.
And that's the issue with playing Rakan in this lane matchup. Very easy to punish. You're so squishy when you go in on this Braum Lucian. And they try and look for the turnaround, but the information wasn't there. If you look at the river, there's so much warding. You can see the vision control now. They could not see where Dan and Magifelix were, so they didn't want to look for the all-in.
Oh, Dan gets himself the knock-up. Look at a chase. Yusa comes in, the dunk. A great unstoppable, and Dan leaps in for the kill. The run route goes down onto Monkeys, and they find themselves another one. A knock-up, though, followed up by the claw and the root. This will be the end of days for Magifelix, but Diabolus lose 2 and get 1 once again.
Yeah, and they should be able to push down this top tower. No plating means it's a very quick take for the side of Fnatic. They are playing to their win conditions. They know they need to keep snowballing this game. And Diabolus, very little they can do to stop it, but they're definitely not going in the right direction now because Monk is, we've talked about this jungle matchup. That was my talking point. They've both had such a great season, but Monk is not having a good start on this Jarvan.
Dan really finding form, and it's absolutely necessary for his team. Both of these teams have made it to EU Masters, but this is for group stages. This is to be the first team to win the UKLC. So much pride on the line for these organizations here.
Absolutely, and I think Fnatic, it's sort of living up to expectations. Coming in, everyone thought Fnatic Rising were the team to beat, but Diabolus, it's sort of achieving what they'd always hoped for, because I know Diabolus just missed out on EU Masters last split at 4G Champions, losing 3-2 in the finals. And although they've guaranteed they've made it, they would love to be able to secure that win this time, make up for last split, and represent the UK as the #1 seed in the tournament. He's getting so big, though.
Yeah, Curb is just starting to build armor as well. Like, he's been running around with an Abyssal Mask for most of this game, so it's going to get harder and harder for Matty to actually get these kills, and same for Dan.
Right now, it's fine, because Matty's got Blade Black Cleaver, and Croxon actually used his claw there.
Oh, this might be trouble for him. Dan's on that flank. The tunnel comes in. The root's going to be enough as the Glacial Fisher comes down. Uses the ulti on himself, Frozen Tomb for a little bit of time. Croxon flashes away, and X-Matty finishes him up.
I don't know what he was doing there. He used his claw for no reason, gets stuck between the whole of Fnatic and a wall, and then is forced to use his ultimate and his flash and still dies. I'm really questioning what's happening with Diabolus right now. They don't look like the same team we saw yesterday. And Monk might just fall for the same trick. He should be able to get out of this one.
They got that knock up, the flag, the drag, the free man by Curb. In comes the grand entrance. The CC's there for Diabolus, but they are looking to have to bail away as Curb will get stunned up. One more auto attack is all they need, and they do find it. There goes the call of the Forge God, and they're just going to be forced away. A lot used by Fnatic.
Yeah, that was close. So Dan's stopwatch came in clutch because Kerberos was looking to chomp down on him, and that absolutely would have been a kill, and a lot of shutdown gold over that Cho'Gath. And again, people don't like to think that giving tanks gold is that big of a deal, but if you give faster items to Cho'Gath, especially when it has such a cheap build path, he'll just become more and more unkillable as the game goes on. Right now, Mighty's in a pretty good position to deal damage to him. You know, Blade of King Black Cleaver is great in the mid game for cutting down tanks, but later on, Lucian just is going to struggle to cut through that tanky boy.
We'll have to pick up that last Whisper if he wants to be able to truly do anything to Kerb.
I'm not even sure you do, because normally with the Black Cleaver build, you don't go the Lord Dominix as well. So that you get your armor pen from the Black Cleaver, but really just Lucian isn't the best at cutting through tanks.
Diabolus, though, like you said, good on these objectives. They haven't got the Gwynzus, but half HP should be an easy secure, although the Feast is down for the moment. Shikari comes in, gets caught out by the Frozen Tomb. That will be the Drake. Haddo's taking a lot of the culling. And now you can see Fnatic just jumping onto Curve. The CC is going to come through, and Curve will just be the sacrificial lamb as Xmatty finds the kill. The Realm Warp, actually. Looks like Fnatic are not done here. Just going to get that blue buff, and Krogson's forced to run away with the claw.
Yeah, Monkey's actually caught in a bit of an unfortunate position here, but I'm not sure if Fnatic know. It looks like from the pathing they're not aware, so Monkeys will just be able to recall, but right now there's 4 people pushing down mid, and I don't think Diabolus in a position to defend. They get the Dragon, but they lose Kerberos and potentially a tower on top of that.
Stepping out, got that demolish. In comes the Call of the Forge God. The bounce house is there. Dan can tunnel over the wall at any moment as Xmatty finds himself one already. It's a double kill for him. He's flashed over by Krogson, who's looking for the kill. The fight is on all front. Monkeys is going to go down. Xmatty almost gets the outplay onto Krogson, but he gets shut down.
Yeah, crucially big shutdown going over to Krogson, but still, Fnatic are in complete control of this game. And Diabolus, they picked a composition for the late game, and they're going to have to be hoping for that, because right now they are 6,000 gold behind, and it is not looking good for the Devils.
They've had great Drake control, but the rest of the map has gone awry here for Diabolus. And it really has come off the back of Dan, who's done so much work in this early game to make sure Fnatic were relevant at this point.
Absolutely, and they just need to keep the momentum going. This is a great position to be in. This is exactly what I'm talking about. This is where Fnatic want to be, but they need to keep the pressure on. They can't slow down, because it does give away back in the game. Right now, Yusei is a whole line behind Matty. Magifelix has just picked up that Rylai's, so he's a good 3/4 of an item ahead Krogson. They're in a great position. They just can't slow down, and the next objective that's going to be on the table has to be that Baron.
Well, aside from now, they're just getting vision control around this area, clearing it up, forcing that vision line up. As all of the tier 1s are down. Diabolus yet to take a single turret in this game as well.
Yeah, that just hasn't been a good game so far. The only consolation is they have picked up those dragons and a couple of shutdowns here and there. Crucially, 700 gold went over to Krogson from that kill on Matty, but it's a small consolation prize, and now Fnatic are going to take control of this Baron area, and it's going to make it very tricky for Diabolus to contest. So they want to contest the vision to a degree, but I feel like a team fight is not going to go well here.
Clearing out that red buff here. Krogson looks to run away. Shikari is on that flank with the Call of the Forge God.
With a push and pull. Dan sent up the tunnels for later on. I think they might look just to start it here. Diabolus don't have vision. They do have a blue trinket from Yusa though, so they should throw that down the second they think they're on it. They've got to assume it now. Yep, they
half
do
HP.
see.
This is going to be hard to contest into a smite and a feast. Tremor Sensor spotted out them sniffing around the back end as Togeris goes in. That's going to be the Call of the Forge God landing onto 2 members. The Realm Warp. Fnatic actually chasing. Xmatty jumps in. The quickness. There's not enough. Magifelix just claps Haddo.
And Haddo is just so squishy. He gets absolutely blown up, and they're going to go for the same play again. Head back over to Baron, and crucially, that blue trinket's been used by Yusa. Their support is down, who is the main source of vision. It's going to be even harder to contest. Fortunately, Krogson's Scrying Orb is available now, so they should be able to get a read on this, but big thing for me is that Kerberos' flash has just come up. A flash chomp is possible, But he's on vision right now, and I don't think they're going to easily give him the
Oh,
chance to do
Monkeys
this.
might just be on the menu. Not going to get those concussive blows off in time, and he's going to be able to slide away to safety. Fnatic playing with respect towards what Diabolus can do in their way back into the game.
I mean, you do not want to go for a 50-50, because it wouldn't be a 50-50 with that Cho'Gath.
It's like a 70-20.
Yeah.
70-30.
The fact that there's essentially two people who can use smites on the side of Diabolus, you know they're not going to try and take this Baron if Diabolus are hanging around.
Diabolus now, with all these picks of Fnatic, have gone to base, and now Diabolus are able to move in and clear out all of these tunnels, all of these wards. So rapid fire cannon now finished up onto Xmatty. He is 2 finished items over Yusa.
We will see Yusa recall. Hopefully he has a Rage Blade here, but if he doesn't, then I mean it just makes things even worse. And he picks up the pickaxe, doesn't have the Rage Blade, so yeah, he is so far behind this Lucian. And they picked this Vayne Rakan to scale, and it's really just not been given the time.
Looks like Fnatic once again starting up. That ward is blocked out at the back of the pick. The pink ward doing a good job to do it.
Should see.
They know it's happening though, because the pink went down in the first place. Half HP on this Baron. Are Fnatic committing? The teleport's coming in. They're going to step away, although they might just turn for the kill. Kerberos is inside of the pit. Tries to find himself a knock-up, doesn't actually connect it. Next, Matty is just ripping through him. In comes the call of the Forge God. It's not going to land onto any targets quite yet. The culling is down. Lots used by Fnatic, but the teleport is now down for Diabolus.
Yeah, I think Fnatic take that. They get the teleport, but again, Diabolus can't complain too much. They did manage to get away. That's one of the risks with TPing into the pit. It's a definite dissuader if this Cho'Gath turns up. He is such a threat with that feast, but at the same time, nearly went down. You can see how strong Matty is as to how much damage he put onto Kerberos there.
Diabolus is doing this? No, they can't. The vision will spot him out, yeah. Fnatic going to get themselves the Ocean Drake, which is great for what they're currently doing for this Baron dance.
They would normally have a fast Baron with the 2 mountains, but the fact that Matty doesn't even have his Rage Blade really, yeah, really means you can't do it that speedily. But Fnatic looking in a really great position now. Magifelix building towards that sort of Bruiser Rise build. We've seen rise in popularity with the Rylai's and the Righteous Glory. So a lot of chase down potential. And I think that's so good here because you see how Diabolus are playing. They are looking to chase people down and pick them. I mean, how Fnatic playing? They're looking to chase people down and pick them. They use a Realm Orb to get in close. And then if you have a Rise who perma-slows you and has the bonus speed from the Righteous Glory, it's so hard to escape. And I think for a long time, Fnatic's plan is just going to be start the Baron, turn onto Diabolus until they find an ace or at least take out Monkeys and Kerberos, because they know the one way they lose this is if they throw a Baron.
Well, Magifelix actually a bit from a needlessly large rod on that base as well. So maybe Spellbinder, maybe Deathcap. Yeah. I mean, if he gets Spellbinder, he is going to speedy boy.
I think if you have the gold, then go towards Deathcap, but he does have the CDR and the mana coming out from that Glacial Shroud, so can't complain too much about that one. Matty's so strong right now. Has the upgraded Blade of the Ruined King.
I can't remember what it's called. The Blade of the Ruined King upgrade.
The Blade of the slightly less than Ruined King. The Blade of the regular King.
King's Blade.
Is that actually it?
No.
I'm pretty sure it's not Blade of the regular King. Flag will give them vision. They're looking for Haddo.
Oh, Haddo's been stunned. The culling. Oh, it's Matty takes him out. And Haddo once again gets caught by the Lucian Braum. Teleport's coming in as they're looking to get Krogson into the play. 2-man knock-up into the Call of the Forge God. Xmatty is forced to jump out. That's going to be the knock-up onto a couple of members. The flash comes in. Monkeys does not get the steal off. Xmatty forces the flash out. Now the Realm Warp's coming in, and Fnatic are looking to tighten the noose around Diabolus. With this Baron, with this knock-up, with these kills. Curb is so low, and he's getting ripped through by every member of Fnatic as Magifelix secures the kill. And it's almost an ace, but one is going to be able to walk away for Diabolus.
Yeah, they managed to get the Baron. They win their team fight as well. It was a good attempt for Monkeys to go in for the steal. Crucially, didn't get it though, and Fnatic going from strength to strength. Again, small consolation prize as a shutdown onto that Lucian, which does mean Yusa can finish his Rage Blade, but still, you're almost 10,000 gold behind. The other team has Baron. Fnatic are completely in control of this game.
Demanding game here by Fnatic and a statement game here by Fnatic. But it's not all over. I never ever want to think Diabolus out, because this team multiple times have come back from 10k deficits. They are the masters of keeping you on the edge of your seat.
Absolutely, and they have a composition to do so. I mean, when that Vayne and Cho'Gath get stronger and stronger, eventually they're going to get to the point where it's a very hard team fight for Fnatic. Right now, though, it's all about damage control. I feel like Fnatic are going to apply the pressure and take these last outer towers, but it's all down to whether Diabolus can keep their base from being broken and keep those inhibitor towers up. I don't think they can, but they're going to put up their best effort.
Well, 27 minutes on the clock. That Call of the Forge God's going to come down. Dan is there, the teleports. They're throwing everything into this fight. Magic Felix trying to close the gap. That's going to be one onto Curb. The tank is down. The Glacial Fisher comes out from Targamas. And it's just going to step away. Doesn't actually want to fully commit.
Just a massive overstep. I said you need to defend your base. There's no reason to be pushed that far forwards, especially when you're against an Ornn who has so much engage potential. Yes, Kairos is tanky, but he's also very slow and easy to hit. And now their base is going to get broken because of that loss.
Sorry, goes down. Inhibitor might be next. Question is do Fnatic stay? Curve's not up for another 10 minutes. They're actually just realm warping the cannon underneath the tower. A 10,000 IQ play, but in comes the grand entrance. A massive knock-up. This might be the wombo combo. Diabolus, though, getting turned onto as X-Manny rips through Croxton. Gets rooted up for the Zhonya's will buy a little bit of time. Croxton finds the triple. He tries to go for the quadra kill. He's low, and he's not going to get it as X-Manny takes him out.
Magic Felix was so low, but crucially, Kairos is now here. Might has to respect it. He is one feast away from dying, and Diabolus find the miracle defense. That Frozen Thrall was so close to killing Magic Felix, and he didn't actually Seraphs before it came in. He Seraphs after, so he very much could have died there. That was by the centimeters, but Diabolus, they show they have some life. They get a ton of gold and manage to defend their base, but still, they lost an inhibitor there. They're not out of the woods yet.
Every time this happens, it gets so close, and Diabolus finds some massive wombo. Unfortunately for them, it wasn't enough for them to, like, pull themselves back into this game. They are still down 10k to Fnatic. They've only been able to take one turret in the bot lane. Fnatic really not looking to give up any of this lead they've got, as they're going to look and try and get themselves the second Ocean Drake of the game.
So this is interesting that because a decision could be made here to delay the Ocean. And what that would do is mean that the Elder would spawn immediately. So now, because they've taken it then at 29 minutes, the next dragon's going to be a mountain. So it does mean they'll be able to get 3 dragons, but it means that they're going to be waiting for almost a 40-minute Elder. Which, when you're in the control of the game like Fnatic are now, I feel like that was maybe the wrong decision, because it gives you an extra objective you can use to take down Diabolus, because it just puts a very long timer on when you can have that available, but I guess they're just focusing on trying to get the game won now.
Stats 40 was even silenced there onto X-Manny from the Feral Scream. Supers will be pushing up in the mid lane, and Fnatic continues to try and assert some pressure here in the bot lane. Baron comes up in 1 minute 40. If they can take an inhibitor here, it's such an easy contest. As you got Supers pushing up on the other side of the map. This is the Call of the Forge God. Maybe just the zone. Croxton does get caught. They throw a little bit down. A good Feral Scream though by Curb. Will silence them. It gets the grand entrance. This might be the Diabolus wombo. The flag, the drag, the cataclysm is there. But Magic Felix is firing away on the backline. 2 kills, 3 kills picked up by Fnatic. And Shikari is low. But the turnaround is still That's a triple kill done by Magic Felix, and it looks like Fnatic are just realm warping towards the end, realm warping towards game 1 of this best of 5 versus Diabolus.
And the Dragons don't matter. They close the game out very cleanly, completely in control, and already Fnatic have proved my predictions very wrong for this series.
Fnatic come up huge, 31 minutes on the clock, and they get themselves game 1 in the UKLC finals.
And that's a rough one to have as game 1, because Diabolus, it felt like everything went wrong. There were a couple of moments where they sort of found some team fights, but they were behind from the start. They felt further behind, and it just felt like it was Fnatic's game. They have to be so confident coming out from that game 1, but Diabolus, they need to go back to the drawing board and go, right, what went wrong? Because especially as they chose red side. That was their side selection. They chose to go on red side, assuming it would give them the advantage in the draft, and that's what makes it worse, is that seemed like a good draft for them, but they just couldn't execute, and I think maybe too much in the scaling bag. I think leaving the Braum Lucian to go over to Fnatic was a bit too risky, because it felt like Targamas and X-Mighty just took complete control of that game.
I feel like Diabolus looked at how Fnatic have been playing and go, okay, they just want to play for the late game. But recently, they've not been playing just for late game. They've worked on their early game, which was a problem at the beginning of the season, and you're seeing it come into fruition here. They picked it for early game, they played for early game, and they won early game, and Diabolus just got caught with their pants down.
Yeah, absolutely. And I said, you know, there was a win condition later on for Diabolus, but you have to keep the gold within a reasonable amount. And Fnatic just blew up in this game, and I feel like the shot calling was really crisp there. They knew exactly what they needed to do. The Baron control was very good. There was one maybe minor hiccup where Monkeys had a chance to steal, but for the most part, they were just completely in control of the game.
Okay, well, for the next game, Fnatic do get side selection. They've opted into blue side, so think side selection stays the same.
So the first game has to be selected in advance, but from then on, it's after the game you have to say what's your choice, and I think you've just absolutely crushed on blue side. If it ain't broke,
don't fix it.
And so, for no surprise, Fnatic going to stick to that blue side. And now Diabolus have gone, right, we've just lost horrifically on red side. How are we going to change that? And at least they're going to be in the same situation, went, right, this is what they did when they were on blue side. We just need to adjust that. But hopefully they can bring it round and make this into a series.
I mean, I'm excited to see what they're going to do coming into the next one. I think the Yorick ban will stick. You just can't let Curb get that. I wonder what Diabolus looked to change in the picks and bans, what they looked to remove here.
I think leaving the Rise open was a bit naive against Magic Felix because it gives him a really strong option. Just he was such a presence because it felt like in those later team fights, you used to start to pop off, but the Rise just shut them down. And I think also giving them the Braum Lucian and then taking Vayne Rakan, which is a very weak lane, was a bit disrespectful.
All right, well, we're going to cut to a quick break, and when we're back, we'll be back with Game 2 of this UKLC Finals, so don't go anywhere.